Dr. Pearl here. I wanted to do just a little check-in with you, make sure we're all on the same page with the things that we're doing. So by now you've probably realized that you're on two tracks for learning. One is your individual track, where you're doing your research, where you're reading and posting to the discussion board. So that's you as an individual. And then the second track is your team, your group. So there's where you're doing your peer-to-peer work, and of course you have your group project. So I want you to embrace both of those. Take and let them feed off of each other. There is nothing wrong with using your group information, your group project to support your post as we go forward. So that's the first thing I want to share with you. Then I want to just remind you of dates because there might be just a bit confusion. The individual discussion posts are due Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time if you're in that time zone. If you're not, let me know because you should be allowed to work till midnight if you so choose to do. And then the second thing is your peer-to-peer group work. And that's also a discussion board, but you do not have to remain on that discussion board. You can go to Zoom, you can track it any other way. That is ongoing work. Each week a new discussion will open so that you can work on that week's piece of the group project. So the only thing that I would ask is when you start a thread, if you can continue that thread forward, it's going to be very helpful for me to read and see how you all are interacting so that when it comes time to do that grading that we have to do, it'll be easier for me to follow. But that peer-to-peer work cuts off on Sunday night. Work through it all week. If you're finished before the end of the week, that's great. That's more the group interaction, that group grade. And then finally, any of the assignments that have to do with your project, with your group, they're always due Sunday night, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless you're in a different time zone. The other thing I want to just kind of talk about is the discussions themselves. Discussion posts. So let's talk about what discussion posts should look like. I want you to think about a discussion post as an academic exchange, not a water cooler conversation. And what that means is opinions need to be based on reliable sources, authorities. And then what you believe, your opinion, either goes along with that, or maybe you even disagree, but you start with what the authorities say and then go from there. So how you interpret it, your agreement, your disagreement, that's where your synthesis, where your critique and understanding of it comes out. Don't just summarize the information. That's good. I mean, it shows that you have read it and you've digested it, but you're almost regurgitating it. And that, although is helpful, is not enough to get the best grade on the post. Also, watch your references. If you can reference within your text specifically ideas to show this is an idea of an authority versus this is my opinion, that's the best way to do it. And if you're not used to referencing and would like some guidelines from APA, a little shortened version, please let me know because I'll be happy to share with you. The other thing is your reaction. Your reaction needs to add to the conversation. The attaboy, good job, I like what you said is good. We all need that support, but that's not really a reaction. That's just pushing it on forward. Your reaction should be either challenging or agreeing with, and then what authoritative source you're using to come up with that opinion. So that's very important. I want to remind you too, it's good to ask questions, but try to make them rhetorical questions that you can answer. Because on the individual discussion boards, it's not an interchange back and forth. You post, someone reacts, and that's the end of it. On your peer-to-peer, asking questions and expecting your group to answer, that makes sense because you're going back and forth. Finally, I want you to take a look at your syllabus. Page 11 is the discussion rubric, and that will help you identify where you want to have your score. If it needs improvement, you're going to end up just doing the very basics. If you start analyzing, synthesizing, showing that you know and understand the material and link it to maybe your job or your project or even a story you've read in one of the books. That's going to bring you up into the good level. When you start interacting with authoritative information and what you've learned and critically analyzing and synthesizing it into your own understanding, there's where you get into excellence. So I just want to do this share to help us all kind of understand from the same place what's expected. I want to see you all do very well, so I'm trying to give you the tools that you need to do that. And if there is something that you need that you have not received yet, please reach out to me. Again, I respond quickly to text at 941-962-1211. But if you don't need an answer right away, please just go ahead and email. I do check that regularly too. With that being said, keep up the good work. Keep on top of the work. It'll be a good term, I know. Just keep moving on.